Another day, another video. Welcome back to Gabriella's kitchen. Today we're making chicken pot pie. So to get started with this pie, the first thing we're going to do is to make some stock for our sauce. So I'm just going to add some stock cubes, and my secret ingredient today is dried porcini mushrooms. This just adds a really nice, rich, deep mushroom flavour. So we're going to soften them up in some boiling water. I've just added some stock cubes to my stock now. I'm going to give it a little taste, check the seasoning's right, and then move on. Good to go. Now we're going to start frying off our veg. So we're going to do a mixture today of olive oil and butter. Oil because it's got a high burning temperature, and butter because we're making a really rich pie here, so we want that flavour. So in my pan now I've got some leeks, onion and garlic, and that's nice and soft. I'm going to go in and add some smoked pancetta. This is going to add a really nice meaty smoky flavour. Don't worry if you can't get hold of pancetta, streaky bacon will be fine, or even just regular bacon also works really well. This is all nice and soft, it's been going for about 5 to 7 minutes. We're going to add our carrot and our mushrooms. You can use whatever mushrooms you want. I'm going to use chestnut because I really like the flavour of them. Don't worry about the carrot still being raw because it is going to cook when it goes in the oven. Just make sure you don't do your carrot too chunky, otherwise it will be far too hard. Everything's been cooking together now, it's nice and soft, so we're going to go in with some white wine. This part is optional, but it adds a really good flavour. We're going to go with about 1 glass. We've added the white wine, we've cooked down that alcohol, it's reduced, so now we're going to go in with some plain flour. This is going to be the base to thicken our sauce. Once we've added this flour, we need to make sure we keep on mixing this pan. We want to cook that raw flour taste out. Once we've done that, that'll take about 2 minutes. We're going to go in with our stock that we made earlier. Go in with your stock, be careful, you don't want this to splash you. So this sauce needs to come to the boil to thicken. While we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to add some flavourings. We're going to go with some salt and pepper. I'm going to add a few sprigs of thyme. You can use rosemary if you like, but thyme works really well with chicken. So just put that straight in and just take the stem and pull the herbs off that way. Next, we're going to add some leek and perrins. Just works so well with mushrooms, and to be honest, I think it adds a really good flavour to most of my dishes. A spoonful of mustard. I'm using Dijon. Whole grain works really well as well. Just a teaspoon's more than enough. The sauce is starting to thicken lovely now. I'm going to add my chicken. I'm just using leftover roast chicken that we had from dinner the other night. You can use fresh cooked chicken if you want, or you can get the little rotisserie ones from the supermarket. They work perfect as well. You just want it shredded, and that can go straight into your mix. Last ingredient, I'm going to add some frozen peas. We're adding them last because we didn't want them to discolour. If you want to make this extra decadent, then a little splash of double cream would make it amazing. I'm going to go without today though. It's really important at this stage to taste your pie filling and check that you're happy with the seasoning. Does it need more stock, a bit more pepper, a little bit more mustard? That's perfect. Now we're ready to assemble our pie. I've got a nice deep pie dish here and just some store-bought puff pastry. That's all you need. One egg, and I've just whisked it up. I'm just going to create a little border around the dish. This egg's going to act as a glue for our pastry to stick to. So all the way around the edge. When you're putting the pastry on, don't be tempted to stretch it. Let it sink almost back in. And then what we're going to do is the overhang we've got, we're going to gather it up. If you want to be fancy, you can do a little bit of crimping. That's also really easy. All you're going to do is take a finger and a thumb. You're going to hold it, and with your second finger, you're going to push it up. And you can just do that the whole way around. come into our last corner. And don't worry guys, if you don't want to do this, you can just get the back of a fork and push it down. The important thing is we want to make sure that it's all sealed and secure. Next, we're going to go over with some egg all over the top. The reason we do this is it just gives it a lovely golden crispy finish. You can use milk as well if you want, that works as well. Last two steps, we're going to pierce a hole in the centre of the pie. This is really important because as the pastry cooks and it puffs up, it needs some air to let the steam out, otherwise the whole thing will collapse. Just a couple of incisions is all you need to do. A little sprinkle of molten sea salt. This is just to make it look nice. And then onto a baking dish like this. This just stops anything spilling and making a mess of your oven. There you have it, chicken pot pie. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.